Mr. Darby?
Obvious question, is it gang related as far as I'm concerned?
Well, I think it has all the hallmarks of being gang related, as the victim was a self-identified gang member.
Was there anything about the clothing that was being worn by either the victim or the assailants that would give you further guidance?
I'm not going to comment on that at this time.
And how many shots were fired?
Again, that's something that I'm not going to comment at this time. The forensics team are preparing all of the exhibits that we need, and hopefully at a later interview we'll be able to tell you a bit more. What I will say though is in relation to his movements, if there's anyone, because he was never a learner, so if there's anyone that has any information in relation to his movements a few hours prior to the fatal shooting, please contact the Serious Crime Division at the number that I gave you.
Mr. Howard, can you identify that timeline then? So you're talking before 8:30, so it's 8:30 to around 4?
Yes, any time after 4 Sunday afternoon, up until the time of the shooting, that is the time frame that we're working from. There's no secret. I mean, it's all out there. We know where he was after a particular football game, but it's from that football game to where the fatal shooting took place.
Can you confirm or deny he was executed by his own?
I have no information to support that at this time.
Mr. Wright, reference to the mood or the mental state of the officer that was shot upon, is he getting assistance from inside police, or what's the requirement for such an incident like that?
Yes, thanks for that question. Clearly we take very seriously the occupational health of all of our officers. They're very well equipped, they're very well trained, and they're very well supported. We have critical incident stress management debriefs for all officers who are involved in traumatic incidents, including this one. And I'm pleased to say that when I spoke to the officer personally last night at the scene, he struck me as being very resilient and also very determined to do his duty. As I say, we're immensely proud of him. He did a great job under very stressful circumstances, and he will have all of our support, whatever he needs.
This officer in particular, was he unarmed? He was unarmed, I was made to understand.
That's correct. He was unarmed, chasing two suspects on a bike, and clearly at least one of those suspects was armed, and his vehicle was disabled by bullets fired at the vehicle.
Any other questions?
Yeah, so where did the officer get shot at exactly?
Near to the water lot down there on Middle Road.
And the altercation that you referred to earlier, a possible altercation, are you able to say where that took place?
Yes, that altercation actually took place near to the residence. Up in Southampton. South Avenue, Southampton.
I forgive my ignorance, but the football game that you mentioned earlier, I don't follow sport. Where would that have been?
The actual game, I know where he ended up. He was at the Dendytown area several hours before the fatal shooting. So from that time up until the time of the shooting is the time frame that I'm looking for some more information on.
Was police aware that his life had been in danger since he was released that Friday, December the 28th, 29th? November, I'm sorry.
So I can't say police were aware that his life's in danger. What I can say is that when you lead a certain lifestyle, and he's a self-confessed gang leader, that's what he said, then there are acts of violence that will take place. That's all I can say about that.
Carla?
Can you send a message to, what do you say to those who, as you're well aware, the social media pictures of the body, etc. I know you can't control it, but what do you say to those people that seem to have lost all sense of sensitivity?
They need to see that as if that was their brother, their sister, their mother, their aunt, their child. Would you like that to happen to you? Would you like to see your child on social media in a position such as that without first getting support that you need, whether it's from the police, whether it's from our family liaison officer, whether it's from having another family member there. That's what they need to think about. And that is why, I mean, I saw one also, and I would not forward a picture like that because I have to think about his mother. I have to think about his family. So I'm asking the members of the public to do the same. You know, that could be your brother.
Are there any consequences? I know with child porn there are, but are there any consequences for people that pass on these images, and if not, should there perhaps be an exploration of having penalties?
Well, there's no legislation that currently covers that. What I will say, though, is that we recognise the power of social media. We know that it contributes in taunting one group and another, and that it does very little to generate calm and restraint amongst people who are led by their passionate rivalries. It also must be very disturbing for the loved ones of people who have died in gun violence to have cruel comments posted about whether their loved ones did or didn't deserve to meet that fate. But let's not forget that anybody who fires bullets from a speeding vehicle puts everybody at risk. People in houses nearby, people walking along the street, not just the police officer who's chasing them. Those people are dangerous. And whether you're one of the people who posted vile comments about whether he deserved it or not on the internet, you need to recognise that violence is not the answer, and indiscriminately firing weapons in a public place puts everybody at risk, including your own loved ones. So I would encourage you to call in the information and let us work quickly to bring these offenders to justice. Thank you.
Any other questions? Well, this will be our last. Brian,
Does the police foresee an escalation of gun-related incidents in the near future as a result of what happened last night?
Coming from where we've come from, since May of 2009, when the gun violence escalated, it's fair to say that tit-for-tat violence is a very real phenomenon. We guard against that. A lot of the work that we do on the street in terms of trying to disrupt the activity of those who are bent on violence is designed just to do that, to try and disrupt it. But there's always a concern whenever this type of incident happens that we haven't seen the last of it. But you can rest assured that we have well-trained investigators and forensic officers who will get to the bottom of it when we get them to court. We have a very good conviction rate, 75% for this type of crime, and that you'll see a visible presence on the street of police officers doing what they're supposed to be doing, which is actively trying to disrupt people and get in between them and stop this mayhem continuing.
Last question, Brian.
Is this the first time a policeman has been shot at in the course of police?
No, Brian, it's not. It's a rare event that a police officer is confronted by a lethal force. There have been two very high-profile ones in the last few years. 2008 with Murray Gordon, and before that was Alan Daniels. But there have been numerous occasions since then where police officers have seized firearms or imitation firearms from people. And I just want to reiterate what I said before. Police officers are highly trained and well equipped. We have armed police officers on the streets 24/7.